The 3 Cents podcast is recorded on Australian soil, and we'd like to acknowledge the Turrbal people, the traditional custodians of the land in which we live on today, and pay our respects to their elders past and present.
Jumbo.
Baoni.
G'day, and welcome to another episode of 3 Cents.
My name is Sophie.
I'm Tyre.
And I'm Dara.
And we will be sharing 3 unique perspectives, insights, opinions, and keeping it spicy, right, girls?
That's right. So guys, I had such a random moment. I was actually trying to organize myself for a wedding that we're actually attending in December, and I was telling my mom, look, I need this Nigerian outfit to be sorted out, and my mom was like, what length? And so my brain just flashed back to when I was in Nigeria, and I was wearing a dress that was like pretty much up to my knee, and I was going into church, and the lady at church was like, you need to move from where you are. And I was like, what do you mean? She's like, you're sitting at the front of the church and your dress is way too short. It can't be at the knee. You're going to distract the priest. So I was swiftly moved to the very back of the church. And I looked at my brother who was wearing shorts, and he was all good to sit in the same spot.
No.
Right? So it just made me think about double standards and what is the go with that? Like, why is it that girls can do certain things or boys can do certain things and get away with it? And yeah, what can we do about it?
Yeah, that's really messed up. Like, I feel like a lot of the time girls need to be really conscious of how they portray themselves in society in order to not be perceived as, what people would call like a slut or provoke attention from certain people, which I think is so unfair, so unfair. And that scenario that with the church, I mean, I know Nigerians are crazy, but that's crazy. That's freaking crazy.
Yeah, first of all, she tried it. She really tried it. But at the same time, I'm not surprised.
Yeah,
I just feel like it's across so many things that, I didn't blink an eye when you actually said that. But yeah, it's disgusting. Sorry, that's my opinion.
I guess to what you were saying, Sophie, double standards really does span across a whole range of things, like double standards in the workplace, double standards when it comes to sexuality. And I think this is, definitely something that we should talk about, especially with, the rise of social media and how people are perceived. We should definitely dive into this a little bit more.
Yes.
And to do so, we have 2 distinguished guests with us.
Distinguished?
we want to definitely get a male perspective on this, because we could definitely be, one-sided and go on in a tangent about, girls shouldn't be labelled as this, but let's see what the guys have to say. So we've got Peter here.
Hello.
Hello, Mr. Peter.
And we have Chasey.
Hey guys.
Welcome.
Thank you.
My question for you boys is, do you think double standards exist? Generally, do you think they exist?
For sure. Definitely. I think there's this old saying that it's a man's world. And typically you'd want to say pretty much there's a lot of things is tailored towards, it's more favorable towards men than it is to women. And oftentimes it's the inverse as well. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I agree with everything Peter said. And I would like to say as well that it's not just one way. It goes the other way as well. But yeah, it does exist in the workplace, in relationships, in everything, even in politics as well. But yeah, it does exist.
Okay, at least we're on the same page here. Okay, we know it exists.
Okay, so can you guys think of any recent examples where you've seen double standards, like recently?
I wouldn't say recent, but definitely growing up. There's obviously been cases where typically, you'd often ask yourself, okay, you want to date someone, how many sexual partners have they had? You get, like, who have they been with? There's always that emphasis on what have they done. Not so much on you. Not so much in, hey, I've been around the block. To me, it's pretty cool. It's normal. But you want to know who they've been with and why that person, to the point where you want, like, oh, you hooked up with that person? Really? That kind of stuff. That's just one, I think, that comes to mind.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting one.
It's a good one, yeah.
Because, I mean, yeah, I just wonder why guys would care, like, what our number is. Like, at the end of the day, if I'm with you specifically, like, who cares? As long as, you've been checked, you're healthy, whatever. Like, why is it something that impacts how you treat a girl or how you see a girl? And why is it even a topic of conversation, really?
I can actually answer that question.
Ooh, okay.
So, the way guys actually do see it is, guys, like, there's just a lot of pride there. So it's a pride thing where they usually want to think, oh yeah, well, I'm probably the best thing that's happened to this girl. So in a situation where they see the guy that you used to date or something, and they're like, hold on a minute, like, Jesus, like, what's going on here? So that's kind of the reason why guys like to do that. Actually, another reason would be the fact that they want to just make sure that, okay, well, insecurity as well, which then leads to pride. If you've been with guys who are, like, higher than, like, their level or things like that, they just keep thinking, oh, how am I sure she's not messing with, like, what does she see in me, and how am I sure she's not messing with other guys, because I don't know why
trust.
she's with me.
But it sounds also a little bit territorial. So is it competition with other guys? Like, you're saying you want to be the best thing that's happened to this girl. Is it like you just don't want anyone else to have been with her, or you just want to be the best that she's had?
Yeah, I would say it's more like being the best.
And having a lower number equates to being the best?
Well, not necessarily. So again, like I said, you want, like, also guys want to know that the girl isn't a slut.
Okay.
Yeah, like I probably should have used a, like, more subtle word, but one thing that I know is a man's biggest fear is his woman cheating on him, because my God.
My God, what?
I mean, that's what, like, still relates to double standards, right?
Yeah.
So a guy can go out there and cheat and all, and he would expect his woman to just, like, take him back. But then when a woman does the same, he's like, oh my God, like, my pride is on the floor, like, Jesus, like, what's just happened? So yeah, again, double standards, it does exist, and yeah, that's a typical example, because men, like, I can't imagine how I'll feel if, like, my woman cheated on me, but it would.
Your pride would be on the floor.
Oh God, my pride would literally fall off.
Just to come back to the previous point, like, I think it obviously cuts both ways, right? So there's this expectation that probably it's only the guy that thinks that way, but the girls do that as well.
Yeah.
You see girls that probably go back to your history and look, who's this guy been with? Yeah, they want to make sure they trump that person in every way. How they look, what they wear, how, I don't know, social they are, to make sure that you can be proud of them or whatnot. So it's definitely there. It's across. It's not just a guy thing. Yeah. And to Chase's point, like, it's definitely a pride thing. It's definitely an insecurity thing. Yeah, everyone always has that. Oh, let's make sure. Yeah, I'm something to remember. I'm something to stick to your mind to say, hey, you know what? I'm the best thing that's happened to you. Yeah. Why it happens, can't really tell you. It's just innate in us in saying, oh, okay, we want to always make sure we're known and we run this block. This is our piece.
But I think that's interesting because, I mean, if you're with that person, there's a reason why you were picked over those guys. So it's always interesting to me when I hear, like, okay, people are a bit insecure about their place. Because I'm like, well, yeah, okay, even if I dated 50 guys, for example, you're 51 and you're the one who won, right? So I always think, oh, okay, well, what's the actual issue, guys? Like, what's the problem? But I think looking at, for example, if I look at my relationship, like with my partner, I have no idea who he dated in the past. We've never had that conversation. Actually, I'm lying. I've asked the question, but I haven't heard the answer.
Okay.
Right? He's like everybody else that I know, if they talk about their partners, they know sort of, okay, I think, you know, he dated this and this and this person. Whereas with my partner, I have no idea who he's dated. But that just goes to show that some people actually just prefer to live in the moment, don't want to look at the past too much. But I love the past because you're right, I do want to see, well, how did this girl look, like what did, like, I mean, I know I'm better obviously, but I just want to know, like, for a fact. But also it's like, can we keep those numbers to ourselves? Like, why do we have to? So what do you prefer, boys? Do you want us to tell you the truth when it comes to how many people we've dated?
Yeah.
Like, do you actually want to hear the truth? Or should we cut that number like in half so that we just look like we're like never date anyone?
The truth is, no one wants to know the truth.
Sorry, speak for yourself. I want to know.
See, that's a fair thing. It's a fair point. You can stand to that, and that's cool. But everyone always wants to know what they really can handle. Right. So you literally, you want to find out, oh my God, who you been? A good example, I'll probably take myself, right? I cannot tell you how many people I've been with. The reason is I've never cared. There's no reason for me to count who I've been with. It's not a pride thing to start to figure out, oh, I've been with her, and I keep a track of it or a mental note. It's irrelevant. It happened, it moved on. End of story. But then why would I need to figure out who you've been with or what you've been doing? It's not necessary to me. It's like, okay, you've been with someone, great, yeah, but you're here now.
But then you go and ask your girl though. Do you know what I mean?
That's the thing. That's
you don't want the truth, but then you're going to ask the question.
Yeah.
Look, it's like I said, it's more of a pride thing, but I missed one scenario as well, because if you think about it, it's not more like about us. It's actually about standards as well. So let me ask all of you a question. Have you, like, let's say for example, you've asked your partner before who they've been with, and they maybe told you or showed you this girl that's got no class, and then you think about it and you're like, did I just lower the standards for myself as well? Like, tell me you haven't thought about it, where you've gone, oh geez, you dated that girl. Okay.
What does that say about me?
Yeah. Well, look, let me just be honest. I like myself a lot, and I have that confidence in myself where I'm like, whoever I date, I am number one. Like, you know what I'm saying? So all these other extras, like, yeah, that's nice, but I am the main meal. Like, you had starters, I'm the main meal. Full course, all 3 courses in one. No. But I think there has to be a level of like self-preservation in terms of just being like confident in yourself and being confident in your relationship as well. Yeah. Otherwise, it's going to drive you crazy because, like, you know, we're talking about people, like, talking about my partner's ex-partners, but like, what about the people who've texted him or someone he's like held hands with? Like, how far are we going to go until you drive yourself crazy? And at the end of the day, people grow and shift.
Yeah.
So someone that my partner might have been into in the past, it doesn't necessarily mean he'll be into that kind of person now. Especially after me. So I think you just have to come to that realization that, you know, you got it. You got the spice.
I'm really happy that you've got like that confidence. Because not a lot of people do.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people do. And that's it still balls back to like the first point I made where like it's a little bit of insecurity as well, because imagine you saw like the girl he dated before and she's like a 9 out of 10, and then you're looking at yourself, you're like, oh, I'm a 6, why is this stuck with me? You're thinking, oh, is he just gonna flip one day and just go do something with her or stuff like that? So yeah, that does kind of trick into your mind as well.
Yeah, I mean, I get the whole wanting to know your partner's history, and for me personally, I would want to know, but from a different kind of angle. Like, obviously, naturally, you'd be like, okay. Like, you know, but then I'd also want to know, like, why didn't it work out, you know? Like,
Okay, yeah.
is there something you have been working on or you need to work on
Good point.
that might trigger a few things in our situation?
Good point.
So yeah, I'd want to know your history, but not in a canon way, like she got a big booty, or she got what does she do for a living? Like, none of that. Like, obviously you left her, it wasn't all about that, but or she left you, but I want to know why. Like, did you learn anything from it? And also how they speak about their ex-partners says a lot as well. Yeah, that's how I want to see it.
I think I'm a little bit different in that sense that, I don't know, this may be just me, I might be the odd one here. I honestly don't care. I don't care, I don't ask. I don't, like,
Which
I
is
feel
fine,
like I feel like if we're dating, I don't need to know anything about your past unless you want to tell me. So I don't ask you.
Unless you want to disclose it. Yeah.
I don't ask you about who you've been, how it was, how it ended. I'm just dealing with what's in front of me, and I can tell you right off the bat, okay, I don't like this. This is probably not great or whatnot. And I can tell you from my experiences how that works. I just feel, as to Chase's point, it has to do with insecurities to some degree. But to your point as well, it's about really getting to know things that you can prevent from occurring in your situation. I think from my side of things is just go with it and learn as you go. If something fails, then you improve. You grow from that. When you start to dig in, as Dara said, where do you stop?
Exactly.
Where do you stop? And it's a funny thing, like when people ask those questions, or how many people have you been with, or what's your preference, all this thing. I mean, I don't mind answering it, as long as you're willing to answer it as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because if you ask me the question, I have to ask you back. So how many people have you been with?
Then we
That's
have
true,
to
that's
double
true.
standards.
I've had situations where people would ask me also how many people have you been with. I'm like, I honestly can't count, and they get offended by it. And I'm like, I can't count because I don't seem to want to remember it. There's no need for me to be going back in time to say, oh, there was this. I don't know. We're doing like a DMX song now. We're doing like a t-shirt. You don't know. It gets so okay.
They're different people. Some people have a list.
I was gonna say that there's definitely lists out there. Like when I was a young star, okay, it wasn't that long ago, but you know, when I was like going out clubbing, like hanging out with like girls, like we were like 21, we would like write down a list of like boys who would ask for our numbers, or like you know, like if one of my friends met up with a guy, like it would be on a list, and I feel like people's lists were going so long that we were just like, bro, let's just cut the list now. Like, so I think when people hear, when I ask the question, like how many people have you been with, or like how many people have you been in relationships with, and if you tell me that you can't remember, to me it would make me think, oh, okay, so it's a lot. Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't come out of that conversation thinking, oh, he doesn't care to tell me because it's not a big deal. I would think, whoa, so this list is really long that you can't even guesstimate what it is. You know?
Fair point.
Yeah, true.
But do people just want to know the number, or do they actually want to know the actual person that you were with? Because I know personally, I never want to know the names of the person. Because then that's a dark rabbit hole that I don't want to go down. But you know, like, do they want to know the name and where, like, who they were, or do they want to know? Oh yeah, so and so number. That's it.
Yeah, some people want to know so they can check if you're still texting them.
The actual person.
Oh, okay.
I mean, who's that? Because that's smart. Damn, I need to take some tips. No, no, but I mean, you can always look at people's social media these days. Like, people really have their exes on there. But what I want to know as well is when you look at social media, and I know guys love imagery, but let's say you know, a girl's like posting quite spicy photos, and she's just dating a couple of guys. Like, so would that determine how you saw her? So would you see her as, oh, this is just a casual girl to chat up with or like to hook up with, versus this is a girl I need to marry? So like, does it change your perception, like how spicy those social media photos are?
First off, I'll probably say the first comment you made about guys love spicy photos, double standards.
Boom.
Yeah. That goes both ways. Definitely goes both ways.
Confirm or deny?
No. For me, I'll say, okay, subjectively, it depends on the space, right? So if you're looking at Tinder, for instance, there's a purpose, there's a reason why you're there. If you're looking at, I don't know, the likes of Facebook, or I don't know, I think it's kind of how you use that, the likes of Facebook or Instagram. You go in there, it's regularly just to chat. It's like eye candy. You see something that looks good, you give it a tap and you move on. It's a little bit different when you give it a tap and you save it, and then you go and you slide into that person's DMs and you're then chatting them up. Then you're going beyond just, hey, this looks good or whatnot. That being said, there are people that go that extra mile, to obviously not just show you what they could probably show you on the beach, but they go a little bit steamier than that. What happens in that case? I don't know. Most people would just, get triggered by that, make moves or slide in even more, or start putting comments and all of that. That's just my take, I guess.
But see, that's the thing though, is that there are some people that use like, I'm just going to say from a girl's perspective, their expression of them, like their body, like, you know, wearing more promiscuous outfits. There's guys that use that as an avenue to like call that person like a hoe, or, oh, this person should have more self-respect. I do know that there are a lot of guys that will go on and like see girls that, you know, are maybe in some cases not wearing very much, and perceive that person in that way. But when a guy is, you know, posting photos shirtless on Instagram, like, people don't say, oh, that guy's a slut, that guy's a, you know, a hoe, whatever. They'll be like, oh wow, he looks hot, he's cute, he works out, blah blah. Like, it's always perceived in a good light versus a girl.
Can we actually agree that that's more of a cultural thing? Because I can actually say, yeah, it's attributed to like our culture as opposed to the Western culture, where, to be honest, you can wear whatever you want to wear.
Yeah. As in, our culture is more conservative.
Yeah, exactly. Because to be honest, I met a girl once, beautiful, like, I mean, easily a 10 out of 10.
Whoa.
And
I've never heard that score given out, but it's like,
yeah. And then it turns out like she was on like a rotation sort of thing, which I didn't really know
her own rotation of guys, or guys are putting her on rotation.
Her own rotation of guys.
Okay.
So and I thought to myself, will I ever end up with someone like that? Like, I mean, I'm starting to change my perspective or like my views on things like that, but I probably will not date someone who's doing that. But then there are people who are happy to still be with her, because, to be honest, it's a cultural difference thing.
That's a really good point, because I was also just thinking, like, even with the culture thing, I feel like a lot of those comments actually come from other women. To Dara's example of the church thing, it was a woman that came up to you and said, you're going to tempt the priest. The priest didn't come up to you and say, girl, you tempting me. So, it was another woman who said, you're going to tempt the priest. And if you look at social media also, the people that are calling those girls hoes are other girls, like calling them hoes.
Yeah,
So.
I agree. I completely agree with you. I would say though, yes, obviously we have some cultures that are more conservative, and it's not just like ours in general being African. Even some Asian cultures are very, very conservative.
Oh, yeah.
You kind of kiss in public, or you kind of hold hands and whatnot. But I mean that works. I just feel that there's a little bit more to it than that, and it goes deeper into just pretty much how we're groomed, right? Okay, a good example is we probably all heard of the walk of shame. When you hear the walk of shame, what comes to mind?
Definitely just a girl.
Yeah.
Exactly. You don't hear nothing about a guy doing the walk of shame. In fact, it's a start. Yeah.
That's actually a good point that Peter's just brought up, because it then leads to another question of why is it that whenever two people consensually have sexual intercourse, why does the other one feel used and the other one doesn't? Because we've just done this. Like, I mean, why? That would also brings up the walk of shame. Like, what are you ashamed of? Like, you've seen me naked, I've seen you naked. Like it's also culture that's let us know that as a woman you're not supposed to like give away your body or do this, and religion as well. But then, to be honest, you've just taken from me what I've taken from you. So why would you be ashamed? Like, why is it that girls tend to feel, this guy has just used me, but then we just did the same thing? Like,
it's that conditioning, because even when we grow up, well, if you grow up as a Christian, with the whole save yourself for marriage, let's be honest, it's always the girl that's getting told save yourself for marriage. And the guy is looking for a virgin when he's going to marry. And it's like, I don't think the Bible says, men, do your thing. Girls, wait for marriage. Like, but because of culture, we've kind of contorted that to be like, okay, the females are the ones being encouraged to save themselves for marriage. So maybe that conditioning in our head is like, I feel used, I feel wasted, or I feel like, trash now that I haven't waited for marriage or whatever. But guys feel like a stud, they can just pick the least experienced girl because all of a sudden it's about pride and culture is a big thing. That's 100% true.
I think in that, like, now I'm just kind of reflecting from like a girl's perspective though, like maybe because I know that, okay, I'm just going to generalize, sometimes from a girl's perspective they might tend to develop like feelings for the person quite quickly, like after you have sex with them. So maybe we need to be a little bit more conscious of like not thinking that, every guy that I'm like hooking up with has the potential to be my, my boyfriend or my husband, and putting that expectation on it and then feeling used when they don't text us back or they don't talk to us back. Like maybe we need to be a bit more conscious of not putting that expectation on the situation to avoid us feeling like we've just been violated, because I do know that a lot of the time we do, I'm gonna just say we do definitely we are guilty of that. Like I feel like I've just been violated, I feel like everything is just being taken away from me. But when you were doing the damn thing, you were really happy about that. You were very happy about that.
You were smiling, you were showing all your teeth.
And then you go to your girls the next day and you're like, oh my god, I shouldn't have done it, I should have listened to you, I shouldn't have left you.
Probably because they come with those cultural expectations. And then when they try to go against those and be like, no, I'm not waiting for whatever, I'm just going to do what guys do too, because we're really equal. Then because of those cultural things that we have in our head, we call them, that one's promiscuous, so don't marry that one. Or,
Because I'm thinking,
And
why,
it's so
why,
acceptable.
why can't the girl just go, yeah, I've used him?
Yeah, exactly.
No, I actually think there are definitely girls that are like, yeah, I've used him.
Yeah.
Like, especially here in Australia, like, people are a lot more free about their sexuality, and there's less strings attached, I've noticed. I had like a little bit of a cultural shock when I first moved here, because like a boy would hold my hand and I'm like texting my friend like, oh yes, this is my next boyfriend, and meanwhile that's like nothing, absolutely nothing. Making out is nothing, anything extra, just forget about it. Just it's to other people it's very we're physical. It doesn't mean that anything should come out of it. Whereas I think culturally, the way I've been raised, or the way I saw things when I first moved here was, if you show any form of interest, like whether it's a hug or whatever, I'm like, you must be in. You must be in. So I felt like I just had to sort of get thicker skin, and also realize that you need to ask questions, because I noticed that some girls are a bit more timid in terms of like asking what it is that this guy wants, like I'm very forward, like I'm like, what do you want? And if it's not aligning with what I want at that moment, I'll be like, next. You know what I mean? So I've just learned that you have to have tougher skin, depending on what sort of cultural norms you're around. And we definitely have higher expectations as an African, like the African side of me definitely has higher expectations than maybe like the Australian side of me, which is a bit more like liberal, like, you guys do your thing. If you guys want to do it, do it. If you don't want to, don't do it.
And why is it that girls wait after like sexual intercourse to ask, what are we?
I asked before.
Do they wait though?
Do they?
Yeah. Some
Actually,
of them
that's
wait.
a good point, Chase.
Because if you had asked that question before, then you wouldn't feel used, because, well, technically the boy might lie as well, but at least ask that question before, not after the fact. You're now saying, oh, you used me, but you didn't ask me that before we got down. Like, come
But
on.
I feel like some people do ask before, and then they get a truthful answer, and then we don't believe you because we're like, we can convince you. I feel like that's another element where we just like a little bit lie to ourselves. I'll change your mind.
So that then goes to show that regardless, you actually wanted to do that. Why can't you just be proud of that? Like you see a guy, he's attractive, you just wanted to link. Like, just do that and just be proud of it. Like, I wanted this because
wait a second here. So if you knew a girl was like, hooking up with a lot of people versus another girl who wasn't hooking up with that many people, like, would you not go for the person who's hooked up with less people, as in, this is the person I want to marry? You'll pick the more tame, in quotation marks. Like, is that I'm asking the question, I don't know.
I don't think, not necessarily.
Does it change your perspective? Like,
I don't think so. Boys just want to keep collecting.
Oh,
I mean, to his point, it would depend on what state I'm in. So if at a point I'm thinking, hey, you know what, fuck it, I just want to be single, I'm definitely going to go for the one that goes around. You'd want the one with more experience. It's going to show you a good time, and the person that's not going to be shy and bring out the freakiness in them.
Because
so then, okay, when you're picking for marriage, guys, so what are you picking from the two?
For me, I would still pick the person with more experience. I'll tell you what. I feel like you've kind of had a play. You've had a feel of what the world's like. You know what you want. You've had those temptations where people have pushed your buttons and given you compliments, and you've dealt with them. And okay, you know what, right now I just want to chill, I just want to settle, I like this dude, and that's all I want. That's my mindset. And I'm like, you know what, we've all done it. And I mean, obviously, the sex market is it's a bonus, so that's always good. The other side of the spectrum, I think there's so much for you to learn. There's so much that you want to do, and there's still, you kind of sometimes feel like, oh, you're missing out. It's kind of like, you would just do he's all right, but then this other dude comes around, he's like, oh my god, there's something here, he's funnier, he's better looking and whatnot. Now, I don't know that for a fact, but it kind of, there's always, from my experience, there's always that feeling like, oh, I wish I could have done this, or I wish I could have done that. I haven't had the opportunity to do this. And maybe you share your stories and you're like, oh my God, I never done that. And it's like, you kind of feel like they've missed out and never actually given themselves the opportunity to live before they've committed. And now they can't, they no longer can explore. So, I mean, that's where I see it from, I guess.
Also, I might just add that, like I said, guys just keep collecting. So, let's say, for example, like you said, there's a girl that sleeps around, and then there's this other girl who's like really calm, she's got everything together. Guaranteed, that boy is seeing both of them because he's collecting from one.
Both
He's compensating. Like I'm getting to link this one, and I'm saving that one for marriage.
Hey.
Wow. So
No, that's just being honest.
I love that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't love it, but I do love the honesty.
Yeah, because you're probably thinking to yourself, oh, well, this girl who's got everything together, she probably just doesn't want to like rush into things, and obviously there are sexual urges that you can't like hold, and then this other girl is out there texting you saying, hey, I want to link tonight, and obviously you're not going to be like, hey, just wait up. So you just gotta go for it. Like, I mean,
I'm going to do my best to spin that around as well. And we're all coming from this point that whoever's going to listen is going to think, oh, the guy's the bad person. But girls do that shit. Girls do that a lot. A girl would go for a bad dude over a quote-unquote decent and boring dude any day. Even if she knows that you've been around the block, she knows that you've probably even slept with her friends for some reason. The girl will be like, you know what, maybe I might change him. Maybe somehow, I don't know, I'm going to become the female version of Jesus Christ, and he will be saved. Yeah, and girls do that all the time. And girls will literally pick the most, like, the weirdest thing ever. Like, someone will probably be sitting with you and be like, just the first date, they haven't even tried anything, like, I don't like the way he eats.
Oh. Or
I don't like the way, there's going to be something going on, but you see that dude that every girl is on, she wants that. So why is that, girls?
attention.
No comment.
I mean, is that necessarily true?
Yeah.
I mean,
100%.
It's not a lie.
It's not a lie, but I don't know if it's my truth. You know, I think I do look at things like big picture wise as well. But you're right. I think it also depends on like what point you are in life, right? Yeah. Like if I'm, if like 18, 19, 20, I was just like, yeah, whatever, like he's hot, or like maybe you do like the bad, but you like the bad way because of the confidence, not, I don't know if it's the other girls, but more of a confidence that.
I mean, I can say I was that girl when I was a teenager, or like super early 20s. I don't know what appeal bad boys have. That's the thing, you can't name it. They're just bad. Yeah. Yeah, but you are right. You do think that you can change them because they have everything except from the badness. But you're like, no, I can fix the badness. That's not a problem as long as they're confident and they're this and that. Dara, you're frowning your face, but I know that's not your opinion. But yeah, I can see where the appeal for bad boys comes in. But you're absolutely right about it's the time of your life that you're in. Like it's the point of life that you're in. When you mature, then you realize this person's actually sick and they actually need psychological help, and that's probably why they're being bad and they're looking for a lot of attention. And yeah, you make smarter decisions that way. Yeah.
Actually, like now that we're talking about it, I've just had like a quick flashback. It's actually happened. It's actually happened to me before. Yeah. Where like I was like, there was this girl I really, really liked, and yeah, my CV just wasn't good enough. Yeah, because maybe I didn't have like a really bad boy persona or something like that. Because man, I was dying for this girl, and she was like hanging out with this boy who I knew was so bad, and I was like, he's so bad, why doesn't she want to be with me? And then I waited for her for the whole year.
Wow.
And then the next year, I was like, okay, well, this would probably be my time. But no, she went for another bad guy.
That's so true.
But yeah, at the end of the day, the third year, after waiting for the third year, I finally, I finally got in at the third year, and the relationship didn't last past a year. I probably wasn't too bad.
Yeah, no.
I wasn't a bad boy, so
Because the thing is, like, when they do choose bad boys, it's not like there's no other options that are waiting when available. Like, I'll tell you that. The guys are there, and there are good guys there waiting for their chance, but you will not even look at them twice. Even if they ask you, you even get offended. It's like, no, you're not bad enough. Like, stop. But yeah, you do mature, and then hopefully you mature in time, and you don't, lose the good guy.
I don't know. I just find it funny. It does happen every now and again. And okay, to pick probably, I don't know, might be a bit weird examples, but I'll go with it anyways. To pick some examples, say a celebrity, right? Say Trey Songz. Trey Songz comes in here, roughs you up. Oh, great. In fact, you were ecstatic. You were over the moon. In fact, you wanted to do it more and do whatever the fuck you've never done in your life, ever. Say some other dude that most certainly is not Trey Songz, does not look in any way, shape, or form like him, does that exact same thing.
No, ma'am.
You heard her.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Just annoying.
No, ma'am.
And it's across everything. Like, even in the workplace, a dude that you have a crush on, he pays you a compliment, you know there's some bad intention in there. You're like, oh my god, oh, nice, thank you. Some other creepy dude that's probably the computer geek actually essentially just pays you that same compliment. You're like, oh my god, no, I'm going to tell HR. It happens. It's like, it's creepy.
It's
It's
so
like,
true.
no, double standards.
Yeah.
double standards.
Double standards.
Yeah.
That is best.
Mad. How is it that married men get to chase girls and then married women don't get to chase boys?
I mean,
that's a good question.
Because once you're married and you're chasing boys, hell's gonna get losing. But like, yeah, you have like married men chasing girls up and down, and to be honest, those girls actually follow them as well, which is very, very annoying. Like,
That's a good point, actually.
yeah, and you see the girls, they're like, yeah, I know he's married, but
You don't give a damn.
my pocket needs to be full.
I mean,
But that's the thing.
That's actually true.
But
There's always money involved.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
girls are always hungry for money. That's really bad. We really need to stop that because we shouldn't be condoning infidelity in relationships, girls. We shouldn't be doing that. But you definitely don't really hear very many instances of the girls like. There are a few, but not as many as the guys that are married doing sneaky stuff on the side.
And they don't get.
They're
They,
definitely there.
yeah, they don't, not like the men don't get a lot of sticks for it, but if a woman there does it, like,
Yeah.
yeah, double standards.
Okay, so I think that's pretty interesting stuff, guys. But we wanted to give you some scenarios. Okay, some juicy ones.
A bit spicy.
A tiny bit spicy. So we really want to hear like what you would do in a specific situation. Okay, so who wants to start?
I don't mind starting.
Yeah, Sophie.
So, picture this. You've met a girl whilst you're out. She seems really, really nice. But it turns out that she has an OnlyFans account. Would you continue to pursue her or would you cut it off?
Okay, it's rude to answer a question with a question, but there's a reason for it. The question is, am I single or am I dating someone?
Oh, mate, you're definitely single.
Okay.
And we don't do infidelity here.
Okay.
But yeah, you're definitely single. You really, really like her. But after chatting to her, then you realize that she actually has an OnlyFans.
What's going to stop you from going there?
All right. Thank you, Peter.
You go ahead and you like the person, right? Now, there's a difference. If you know she has an OnlyFans, which means you subscribe to it, which means you know what the content is. So if it's just essentially just nudity and she's doing nothing extra, Why not? I mean, strippers do that.
Okay.
Yeah. But if of course she's, I don't know, doing something we all know what I'm talking about, probably not for me. Someone else might be. I don't know.
Side question: would you want to date her to marry her, or would you just be like, oh yeah, just gonna hang out?
I don't
Be
date
very
people to
honest.
marry people. I date people because I think they're awesome, they're great, and I see where that's gonna go. So I don't.
So you'd still give
I,
her a chance.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know a lot of people, but I don't just jump into a relationship and thinking, oh my God, I'm going to marry you. I feel like I'm setting myself up for failure because then you're going to find things you don't know or whatever it is. You date them, and because of dating them and seeing who they are and realizing how you guys are in sync, then you can potentially get to that. Yeah, that's how I see it.
Interesting.
So I wouldn't say I would date them to say, oh my God, I'm going to marry you. I'll date you and see how it goes. I mean, it might work. It might not work.
Interesting. Chase?
Well, this is my opinion and my opinion alone, so please don't hate me. Yeah, if I found out that she had an OnlyFans account, and this is me being blunt, yeah, it's just going to be about sex.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Wow.
I'm not like, it's not going to be a serious relationship. Nah, nothing like that, because yeah, I'm probably going to be attracted to everything that she's got. Or like, it's going to give me the buzz, like she's a bad girl. I'm going to enjoy the sexual sides of things. But aside that, it's going to just be more of a fling for me rather than like a relationship.
Interesting.
Okay, sorry. So, would you rather pick a girl that has a reputation on the streets but has other qualities that you want in a partner, or a girl with a good reputation but has a really bad attitude? Chase?
I'd pick a girl that has a good reputation and bad qualities, because if you think about it, you see, one thing you do not want is to walk around and then you just keep seeing guys who have been with her. Man, it's actually it's a different type of trauma, because no, I'm being serious, because if you think about it, like, and like, to be honest, I don't know why people like it. Let's say, for example, now you see a sex tape of someone, like that reputation's like pretty much a bit damaged. So like, imagine that sort of a reputation where like she's known on the streets, like to be honest, there's no pride for her anymore. And I'm just walking around like I like, what I'm just trying to say is, imagine like one day some guy will probably walk up to me and tell me, I fucked your girl. Sorry, I don't know if I'm allowed to say that on here.
Come
But
up to people to say stuff like that?
yeah, guys actually taunt you, because if you actually have a guy and you mess with him, he would probably go, oh, like he would go on your girl, and you would want to defend your girl, but it'll get to a point where you're like, Jesus, what have I done? Like, because like one thing like that puzzles me at times is like, imagine you're dating a girl who's been all around. Like, I mean, probably the next dude you meet might just be like, oh, that's your girl? Okay. And then you can't even make friends because your girl's been everywhere.
Oh. Wow. Okay. So you would take the person with the bad attitude back to your parents.
Men,
Is what
her
you're
attitude,
saying.
like her attitude is fixable. Like, I mean, I can work on that. Like, I mean, I can try my best.
Yeah.
Even if I had to like have sleepless nights, I will do it. But then the reputation cannot be repaired.
big thing.
Unfortunately, it's happened. So the reputations in the past, the attitudes for the future, like, you can keep working on that, but you can't repair the reputation. Like,
Yeah.
for example, sex tapes, they can't be taken off social
Yeah,
media.
that's yeah.
I mean, yeah,
That's true.
I agree and disagree at the same time. Like, you say reputation, well, that's what you know. The girl you're with, you don't know. You don't know who's been with her. You can be with your girl and she goes into a club and she's probably been with 10 dudes in there. Just because she doesn't have a sex tape doesn't mean she hasn't been around the streets. So that's just how I see it. For me, if a girl has a shitty attitude, no, that doesn't work. Like, you can be pretty at all, but if your attitude is just out of whack, you're not a people person, I can't relate to you, we're not doing anything unless we're just essentially just, I don't know, making out. And that's literally all we're known for. We just hook up and then you go your way, I go my way. In that case, it doesn't matter who the fuck, what your attitude is. That's not what we're there for. But, like, for me, I feel like things happen, right? Yeah, people with the sex tape and all that gets leaked. It happens. Most people do sex tapes. You don't have the expectation that's going to go out there. Yes, it's embarrassing, but same way any dude that has a vendetta against you that's actually hooked up with your girl will say, man, I've actually been with his girl. Yeah. Yes, the difference is perhaps you might see this person's sex tape at one point in time or whatever it is, but I feel like it's not like this person is being in the streets doesn't mean that you're a hoe. It just probably means that you just know how to be independent, you know how to be more of an equal to a man, because as we said, we've seen here it's a double standard. Men, you don't hear of people saying, oh, a man has been in the streets.
Good point.
Yeah,
Good point.
You hear that,
Very
hey, you know
point.
what, he's a stud, or you know what, this guy is hot, this guy's, and every girl's gonna dump in there, but nobody says any of that stuff. So that's how I see it. I feel like, I mean, if the girl is with you and Stu doing all that, then for sure, not great. And then let me just put this out there, right? It's easy for us to say here and say, hey, you're going to do this, you're going to do that. But we all know that when you're in love with someone, you become absolutely stupid. In the sense, you become senselessly stupid in the sense. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. It just means you block out all the noise. You block out everything you hear that could have been, that should be. That's just the truth. You think you don't do it, but you do. You subconsciously do, and you just like, you don't want to hear. All you can see about them is the good stuff. So it means if you're in that space and whatever the person has done in whatever life, and you've come and you've met them and you're with them, as long as they're not still doing that whilst you're around them, you're fine. You keep moving. You're going to have that cases where you might, I don't know, have a go with a guy and then they say off shit or whatnot. It happens. I mean, you can't stop that from happening anyways.
Yeah. But have you heard about this saying where like a man's pride is his woman? I do believe that a lot, because if you think about it, like you have this girl who you hold in such high esteem, and then someone just comes and just drops that on the floor. Like, how would you feel about that? Like, someone like that's just me. That's my opinion, because like my girl, I hold her with like such high esteem, because I'm like, yeah, this is my girl, like so much pride and all that. And then someone's just like, oh, well, what are you proud about? Like, been there, done that. Like,
I mean, I completely see that point. Yeah, but I like to take it a step further and say it's not just a guy's pride as this woman. I think as human beings, we're very possessive. If you love someone, you're gonna be very possessive. Personally, I like to think as well, just to digress for a little bit, is why you can't be in love with multiple people. I don't think it's possible. No. Because if you really like someone or you're really in love with someone, you can't share them. Yeah. So if you think about that, right? Yes, you can't share this person, but you can't change anything that the person has done before you met them. Yeah. And you shouldn't be actually judging people based on their past. People make mistakes. Yeah, people do whatever. Not saying that a girl sleeping around is a mistake, because that is their liberty. They can do whatever they want. Yeah. But I don't see a reason why you should be fixed on everything a guy or someone confrontational says to you, because then if that's the case, trust me, brother, you're going to be angry at a lot of guys. Like, they will say anything to get under your skin, and as you've mentioned, a girl, your girl will be one of them. You're like, oh, I've done something with your girl. Great. They can say something about your mama, they can say something about your kid. Who knows? Where does it stop?
But yeah, we actually have to fix this double standards, because now just talking about it, just thought about it as well, like with sex tapes, for example, we like, let's say for example, Ray J and
that's a big one.
Kim K. Like, no one talked about Ray J's stuff, and it was just more Kim K. Kim K. Like, it's just punished. Her body, and so we actually have to fix it, because it like I said, like we've grown up with these things. That's why I would probably feel that way, like my pride and all those things. Because to be honest, equally for a guy, it could be the roles could be reversed, but it won't give the same effect. So yeah.
That's true.
That's so true.
Okay, because we've had such a deep and spicy conversation, we'll just like end it with a cute one, I think.
Yeah.
So would you go for someone who lifts heavier than you, or someone who just exercises whenever they feel like it? It's like once in a blue moon.
And the first one's like built, like she's
when I say lift heavier than you, I mean like
she's strong.
She's like superwoman, like that kind of energy.
she can pick you up.
She what?
She can pick you up too.
She can bench you.
Yeah.
You know, versus someone who's like, look, when I gym, I gym.
Yeah, once or twice a month.
Yeah.
The translation is, you can be her bitch.
I actually did watch this thing, Kevin Hart and is it Ronda
Rhymes?
or something like that.
Or Rousey.
Ronda Rousey, yeah. And he was saying something about like she like, does she feel sometimes like she could beat her man and stuff like that?
I would believe it.
And then Kevin Hart was saying, well, for my wife, I know that this, because I'm short. Like I've seen situations when she's looked at me, and I know that thought in her head saying to her, "Whoop him on his head" or something. So yeah, but honestly speaking, it's a tough one. I mean, I don't want to be beaten up. Like I don't want.
No one's saying you're gonna get beaten up.
But she's not gonna beat you up. She was,
Necessarily.
you know.
Hey,
But she got your back. She got your
back.
back.
God.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now.
Well, let me just say, no, because the truth is, again, it's from the perspective of you're the man. But like, imagine like a situation whereby we went to the gym together. She's lifting like 50 kilos, and I'm there doing 20. Everyone will be like, "Bro,
What
like."
happened here?
But yeah, to be honest, I wouldn't mind any of them. Whichever way it goes, as long
You
as
have to pick one.
yeah, as long as they. Okay, well,
You have to pick one for this one for the game.
What was the both of them again?
So, superwoman, like muscly, can do things, can pick things up, can pick you up, versus hardly goes to gym.
Hardly goes to gym.
Wow. Okay.
Okay. So when you say hardly goes to the gym, are you saying she's still fit?
We can give you that answer. We can give you that answer.
Okay, wait. I retract my answer. Let that beat me up. No problem. Goes to the gym. Yes. She can. Yeah.
Okay.
No problem.
Okay. This is
tell us the answer.
This is I think that there has to be something in between. It can't be just.
No. It's a game,
extremes.
guys.
Yeah. Okay.
It's the extremes. Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to do what I did before and ask a question again. So on the side of the girl that doesn't go to the gym, are you saying are you saying she's, I don't know, like 10 times my size, or are you saying she's, I don't know, slim? Are you saying she's
just
athletic?
not fit? She's soft. Let's say
She's soft. She's unhealthy. Maybe she looks like she doesn't go to the gym.
Yeah.
Alright.
It's very obvious.
Okay. I don't know. For me personally, I would like someone that's fit, but I'm not necessarily, and this is just me, right? Everyone can have their own opinions. I'm not very, very attracted to very, very muscular women.
I feel like a lot of guys say that.
This is just me. Like, everyone you can do whatever is your cup of tea. Well, to me, I don't know. I just feel like, without going into too much details, I would like to come back and be like, hey, Bobs, and just like, there's something soft to fall on. Yeah, there's something soft to hold. I would like my girl to feel softer than I
But what about it? You can just use a pillow.
No,
you can give her a nice warm, soft jacket.
No. It has to be her. Not the pillow. No. If I wanted the pillow, I'll use the pillow. You don't want to go like, you're trying to put your head down and there's like some huge ass biceps and it's like you're gonna get a headache from that. No, it has to be soft for me, right? And yeah, I'll say it again. Everyone can do whatever they want to do, but that's just my preference. Yeah. Now, whether that person is on feet or I don't know, whatever side, but it just has to be soft, please.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys for being on this episode. It was amazing to have like both your opinions because it's like quite different to what I was expecting to hear from you guys.
Yeah.
And yeah, you guys have a lot of empathy, I think, as men, to really understand that there are two sides to the story, and it is unfair, you know. And it's such a good episode because I think it gives people time and perspective to really think about what they are doing in their lives and also what they place on other people unfairly. So yeah, thank you so much, guys, for being here, and we really honor you for being amazing African black men in Australia, doing us proud.
Yes.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having us. Awesome.
And that's our 3 cents. Thank you for tuning in, and be sure to give us your thoughts on today's topic on our Instagram page, 3cents.podcast.
Signing out, it's Dara,
Sophie,
and Tired.